Hello Superset Maniacs and welcome back to my channel. Today I have an interesting comparison for you guys between two of the best bodybuilders of this past decade in probably their best shapes of all time. Greene at the 2012 Mr. Olympia where he placed second behind Phil Heath, and Shawn Rhoden at the 2018 Mr. Olympia where he beat the same Phil Heath, ending his Olympia streak. Of course, Kai and Shawn went head to head with each other multiple times, but I don't think Shawn has ever placed above Kai Greene at a bodybuilding contest. However, in 2018, Shawn presented arguably his best shape of all time, and at the time, Kai Greene was already retired for more than 2 years. So I figured this comparison would be interesting for you guys. We begin with the front double biceps pose, and we can notice that here in 2012 Kai Greene was more aesthetic, his midsection being pretty tight compared to what he would look in the following years. Both of them are very complete in this pose, downstairs especially, both of them having incredible quads and strong calves. Both of them have great V-tapers and aesthetic executions. However, there's one chapter here where Kai Greene slams the door on Shawn Rhoden, and that's the bicep development. Kai has some of the most impressive peaky biceps of all time, while Shawn Rhoden has some of the weakest biceps from a Mr. Olympia winner here in 2018. Kai Greene wins the pose. Up next we have the front lat spread where both of them look strong, having those wide structures and great V-tapers. We already know that downstairs they both nailed it. As probably most of you already know, Shawn in 2018 presented one of the most peeled and conditioned versions of a Mr. Olympia winner of the modern era. But Kai Greene was also in very good shape in 2012. More conditioned than in 2013 or 2014, the other 2 years where he placed second behind Phil Heath. So at this department, Shawn may have the advantage but a minimal one, as Kai as well was peeled to the bone. However, Kai Greene wins the lat department against Shawn here, just like he won the biceps in the front double. It looks like Kai is winning the main muscle group in the poses so far, while for the rest of the body it's pretty tight. So Kai Greene takes this pose as well. Next pose is the side chest, and while Kai Greene looks good here, I honestly never liked his execution in the side chest. He somehow squeezes his upper body to the extent where it's overshadowed by his powerful lower body. He also looks to be having a little stomach distension here. On the other hand, Shawn has a relaxed stance, he dominates at the shoulder department, he may not win the chest but it's close. Downstairs both of them have powerful side legs, some of the most impressive of all time even. Kai has the bigger quads and hams, both of them have powerful calves, and Shawn is definitely winning the glutes here. For the overall balance, execution and conditioning, my point goes to Shawn Rhoden in the side chest. Back double biceps, and let's start with the wheels and get that out of the way. As we can see here, both of them are very complete, having striated glutes, the needed sign of conditioning, with Rhoden having an advantage here, in my opinion. But Kai is definitely winning the hamstrings. Both of them have powerful calves. However, upper body, Kai Greene dominates Shawn Rhoden big time in the lower half. He probably dominates any bodybuilder in history when it comes to the lats and lower lats insertions. But Shawn Rhoden has the bigger traps and the bigger delts, thus winning the upper half of the back. Kai is also getting the biceps, and overall it's no doubt that Kai Greene has the better back double biceps pose overall. Rear lat spread, and I have to admit that at first glance I would give this pose to Shawn Rhoden. Somehow Kai Greene's back lat spread is on a much lower level than his back double biceps pose. For most bodybuilders it's the other way around, Shawn Rhoden included. It's much more rare to see a great back double than a great back lat spread in my opinion. Downstairs we're splitting hairs again, so let's look upper body. Shawn Rhoden is winning the traps big time. However, at a closer look, his lats really lack thickness in the lower region, where Kai Greene has all the thickness he needs. Kai also has the wider back, so I guess that overall Kai may have the edge after all. What do you guys think? Side triceps, and we know that Shawn Rhoden has one of the most impressive side triceps poses overall, aside from the triceps themselves, which are probably the weakest of any Mr. Olympia winner in history. On the other hand, Kai may not have the thickest lateral head himself, but his triceps are so nicely deep cut, straightened and separated. Shawn has the better pose overall, but I simply can't ignore those almost non-existent triceps. So my point goes to Kai Greene. Up next we have the abs and thighs, and if you're watching my channel, you guys know that for me Shawn Rhoden's 2018 abs and thighs is the best abs and thighs pose of all time. It's not perfect, but he's got an 8-pack for God's sake. He's got a tight midsection, great lats and a great V-taper, and some of the most impressive thighs of all time. His great execution mixes all these great details together perfectly, so Shawn Rhoden obviously wins this pose. Last pose is the most muscular, and upper body, Shawn Rhoden is more dominant, having clearly the more superior delts. His long-headed biceps look better in this pose as well. He's winning the midsection. Downstairs, Kai has these incredible feathers on his quads, but it's not like Shawn Rhoden has weak quads, so overall I would give this pose to Shawn Rhoden. In conclusion, Kai Greene won 5 poses out of 8 against Shawn Rhoden today. He's won the front double, the front lat spread, back double biceps, rear lat spread, and the side triceps. Shawn Rhoden won the side chest pose, the abs and thighs, and the most muscular. Kai Greene won more mandatories. I know you guys are curious about this aspect, but this doesn't necessarily mean he would beat Shawn Rhoden in this comparison. The judges take a look at all the mandatories and they make an overall idea on who's more dominant. At least that's how I see things. What do you guys think? Who was better between Kai Greene at the 2012 Mr. Olympia and Shawn Rhoden at the 2018 Mr. Olympia? Let me know in the comment section below. Also like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys and see you next time.